Now, in addition to being able to view all of this resource allocation data, we can also interact with the data, again, without impacting the live project schedules. So if we return to the heat map, and for example, we look at our IT architects, and you'll see in this case there are 2 projects driving demand over the time period I'm analyzing, and those are the International Personnel Database Design Project and the HTTP Traffic Monitoring System Project. And let's make the assumption that the latter is of a lower priority, and perhaps we can do some priority slack type of leveling. So I'll click on this project name, and notice that'll snap to in the top section. So a very easy way to get to what I want to interact with. And in this demonstration, I'll simply click and drag. There are also ways we can change the date, expand or contract the schedule, so to simulate sort of smoothing this out over time, or compressing it to a much more narrow time window. In this case, I'll simply click and drag, and let's assume we want to move this out maybe 6 months. And if you notice in the top right corner, we're providing a preview of the number of days we're moving this. So I'll move this out about 185 days, and now our proprietary algorithms will recalculate all of the underlying labor and all of the underlying costs across this entire enterprise model and redraw all of our views, the grid, graph, heat map, and cool map. We'll also make a delta view available, which will illuminate the differentials between the before and after. And you'll see that I impacted not only my IT architects, but my IT system testers as well, and perhaps other groups. So let's scroll over, and you can now see during the time period that I moved that project, I impacted my IT architects, system testers, network engineers, as well as programmers. And in all cases where we do have the changes, we will illuminate the heat map values, and I can see the allocation level prior to the shift and then after. We split each month, but again, you could switch gears here and view this from a weekly or daily standpoint. I could also look at the before and after from, again, the labor standpoint or cost. I could also view net changes. So we implemented just 1 shift a moment ago. Imagine if you now implemented 5, 10, 100 changes, and you wanted to see what was the base simulation percentage and what have I now arrived at, so I could see the difference between the two, not just this partial derivative. We could also look at the net numeric values, so I could see what was my net surplus or net deficit in terms of labor or financial quantities. So it's often our customers will change project timing in the event they know labor costs may be lower or higher in the past or future, and they'd be able to recognize that in the simulation model. We also keep track of this information. So for my project movement history, I can see each of my simulated shifts. I can also export this information to Excel, CSV, or PDF. And we also provide a multi-level undo feature. You'll see in this case we moved our project out 184 days, our score, and I can undo this individual shift or undo all in the event that I had made more than 1 shift, 10, 100, whatever it may be. You'll also notice in the top right corner that we have a proprietary scoring algorithm, and you'll see this display is currently at 69. When I click on the score, additional details are presented, and in effect, while the calculation is proprietary, this is a 0 to 100 score, and the concept is that we want to arrive at a model where we're as close to 100% allocated as possible. So you're penalized for going over. In fact, you're penalized more so for over allocations, but you're also penalized for under allocations, but to a much lesser extent.